Yo, what's going on, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists? And in this update video on the updates, I'm going to be looking at the Primaris Space Marines. And we're starting with Primaris Space Marines gaming, and then I'll go into the Primaris Space Marines FAQ that they released. So, an FAQ before it's even come out, it's just bizarre. Cool, but bizarre. Anyway, start with the Primaris Space Marines. Okay, there's a new type of Space Marine on the block. The Primaris, sorry, pronunciation error. When the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 lands, how will they play in the game? Let's take a look at their rules to see what we can expect on the battlefield from the galaxy's newest superhumans. The Intercessor Squad is right there. You won't be able to see it, but it is there. So I'll read it out. So the Intercessor, right. So we've got movement 6 inches. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2. Nice. Like it's got Terminator. Attacks 2, leadership 7, and 3+ save. Now, the only difference I can see with the Intercessor Sergeant is that he gets 3 attacks instead of 2, and then he's got a leadership of 8 instead of 7. This unit contains 1 Intercessor Sergeant and 4 Intercessors, so that's probably how they'll sell them. Each model is armed with a bolt rifle, a bolt pistol, frag grenades and crack grenades. Blah blah blah, yep. It's got the And They Shall Know No Fear special rule, or the ability rather. Their faction keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, and whatever chapter they're from. So that'll be like either Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, and say Blood Angels or Dark Angels for instance, for example. Keywords. So it's got faction keywords and keywords. That's obviously going to be a difference there. Keywords: Infantry, Primaris, Intercessor Squad. As you can see, there are a lot of similarities to classic Space Marines. 3+ save, bolters, albeit upgunned a bit, and the usual frag, crack, grenade loadout. There are some definite differences though. 2 wounds puts Intercessors somewhere between your typical power armoured Space Marine and a Terminator in terms of survivability, compared to a tactical squad Space Marine who only has a single wound. An Intercessor will last twice as long against small arms fire, but will die just as quickly to heavy weapons. Terminators have the same number of wounds as a Primaris Marine, but their better armour and invulnerable save means that they will last longer against all types of weapons. That bolt rifle is pretty cool too. This is the iconic bolter armour of the Space Marines with a bit more kick. It has additional range. The bolt pistol's got 12 inches, bolt rifle's got 30. It has additional range and armour piercing punch over a standard bolt gun, meaning Intercessors will do well in a shootout against most current Warhammer 40,000 troops units. And thanks to the new strength versus toughness system, they can even start to menace lighter vehicles, wounding any vehicle smaller than a Gorkanaut on 5s and reducing its save by 1. That said, like the legions of the Great Crusade, they don't have options for heavy or assault weapons within the squad. So there are still situations where a tactical squad will be better suited, bringing las cannons, flamers, or other specialist weapons with them for greater tactical flexibility. Though not melee specialists, the Intercessors' 2 attacks makes them pretty handy in a fight. In close combat, they also use their bolt pistols to fire point blank into enemy units in the shooting phase. The enemy will need dedicated assault troops or lots of bodies to overwhelm a Primaris Space Marine up close. You can see on the datasheet too that you can select a chapter as a faction keyword. That means that you can add Primaris Space Marines to your Ultramarines, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Iron Hands, Rainbow Warriors, or any other Codex chapter you like, even one of your own invention. Good. Of course, all this comes at a price. Intercessors cost a fair few more points than a tactical Marine. An army composed entirely of Primaris Marines will be a fairly compact but utterly lethal and elite force. You can expect these guys to make a big impact on any game in which they make an appearance rather. And remember, the Intercessor is just one of one of Primaris Space Marines that Gilliman ordered up from Mars to defend the galaxy. We'll have news on a few others very soon. All exciting stuff! Well, let's crack on and dig into the FAQ on Space Marines. I'll just carry on reading. Here we go. A whole new type of Space Marines that might just be the most exciting thing to happen to the Imperium since Roboto Gilliman woke up from his 10,000-year nap and decided to save the galaxy. But what does their arrival mean? How will it affect your collection or army? What modelling options will you have? Read on to find out. So, what's a Primaris Space Marine? These are a brand new breed of warrior commissioned by the Primarch Gilliman and developed in secret on Mars for the past 10,000 years by Archmagus Belisarius Call. Find out all about them and check out an awesome video here. Are all my current Space Marine miniatures redundant now? No way. Primaris Space Marines do not replace regular, if a superhuman killing machine can be described as regular, Space Marines. These guys have a few extra genetic enhancements thanks to Belisarius Call and serve as additional reinforcements in the Adeptus Astartes arsenal, not replacements. Will there be multiple types of Primaris Space Marines? You bet. Of course there will. They want to sell the models, man. You bet. So far you've seen the Intercessors, the line infantry clad in Mark 10 armour, but there are plenty more on the way, and likely vehicles too. Wait, Mark 10 armour? Yep. These guys have new armour combining the best bits of classic Horus Heresy era plate with some fancy tech developed more recently. Can I field a whole army of Primaris Marines? You totally can. From a background point of view, some chapters, especially those decimated in the events of the Gathering Storm, now have entire companies of these new warriors. Others have incorporated squads of Primaris Space Marines into existing battle companies, and perhaps, most excitingly, Gilliman has founded some entirely new chapters out of these new Space Marines. This is sounding cool. I have an insert favourite chapter. It says insert favourite chapter army, so I have a Blood Angel army, for instance. Can I field Primaris Space Marines? Any of the galaxy's many hundreds of Codex chapters can use Primaris Space Marines, along with many of the less Codex compliant ones like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Space Wolves. Next question. So, Primaris are just better in the game, right? What's the point of using older Space Marines? Marine to Marine, they certainly have some advantages over a tactical squad, but it comes at a cost. These guys will cost more points than standard Space Marines, so you'll have fewer of them, and their weapon options will be different. For a maximum total punch, you'll want to bring all your Space Marines to the tabletop. What if I don't want to use them? Well, aside from missing out on some cool new models and tactical options for your army, then that's totally cool. You certainly don't have to include Primaris Space Marines in your Space Marines army, though when you see the Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought, you'll want to. Primaris Dreadnought? Did I write that? Nah. Moving on. Are the kits compatible with existing Space Marine kits? Good question. There are certainly elements of the existing Space Marine kits that will be cross-compatible, while the new armour mark means that some parts won't mix as easily. Shoulder pads and helmets are the same scale and will still work, whereas the legs, torso and arms are different and not quite as interchangeable. In terms of the Primaris sets themselves, you'll have loads of fun kit bashing them. Can I use these guys alongside my Astra Militarum army? Yeah, you can. These new Space Marines will be available to use alongside all Imperial armies to fill some battlefield roles your army might normally struggle with. Do the Primaris Space Marines play nice with the Adeptus Custodes? They sure do. Many of the Emperor's elite Golden Guard are accompanying Gilliman and the Primaris Space Marines on the Indomitus Crusade. But I play Chaos. Where are my superhuman reinforcements? First off, that'll teach you for turning your back on the Emperor. Secondly, did you not see the Death Guard teaser video? The Chaos Gods have not been idle. We guarantee there are some warp-charged hulking warriors on their way for you guys in the not too distant future. That sounds pretty damn awesome. Gilliman be blessed. These guys are rad. When can I get them? Primaris Space Marines will be available alongside the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Oh, and while we're on the subject, will be announcing the release date before the end of this month. And hopefully they'll just confirm that it will be pretty much the rumoured June the 17th, I believe. But they may confirm or deny that. As long as we get a date, that's cool. Anyway, that's the updates. Thank you very much for watching. All Brushes Lead to War. I will see you on the next video, and bye for now. Bye bye.